Okay, this video covers two-step equations, and the goal, however, is the same as it was for one-step equations. The goal here is still to get the variable by itself. Okay, so your goal hasn't changed. You still want to get the variable by itself. And to do that, again, we are going to use the opposite operation. But since we have more than one step, we have to know that we're doing this in the reverse order. So basically what I mean by that is whatever's happening to the variable, and multiple things will happen to it, there's two steps, so there's two things happening to it, we're going to work backwards through that and eliminate each step as we go. So basically we're starting furthest away from the variable and then working our way towards it. Hopefully you'll see what I mean when we start. So for example A, it says 2x plus 5 equals 11. So if you find your variable right here, x, you can see it's being multiplied by 2, and then it's being added by 5. So what we're going to do is get rid of the 5 first, because that's the last thing that happened to it. So our first step is to remove the 5. So we subtract 5, because it's being added, so we do the opposite. These 5's cancel, so we have 2x equals 6. Now this is just like when we did one-step equations. We would subtract the 5, only now it doesn't say x equals 6, it says 2x equals 6. So now we have one more step, which is to divide by 2. So x is being multiplied by 2, so now we have to divide. And that gives the answer of 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And those are the two steps, right? So first we took away the 5 because that was the second thing that happened to the variable. So we take care of it first. So subtract 5, and then what's left is to divide by 2. Let's go to example B. It says negative 3x minus 5 equals 13. So x here is being multiplied by negative 3 and then subtracted by 5. So we have to take care of the 5 first. We're going to add 5 to both sides because that's the opposite operation. We're left with negative 3x equals 13 plus 5 is 18. So now our final step is to divide away the negative 3 because negative 3 times x, the opposite operation is to divide. So we're left with x equals, and 18 divided by negative 3 is negative 6. So your first step will start with whatever's furthest away from the variable, and then you'll move closer. Okay, example C, we have negative 5b plus 7 equals negative 18. Very similar. First thing we have to do is subtract the 7. So leaving us with negative 5b equals negative 25. Be careful there. Negative 18 minus 7. We're at negative 18. We go down 7 more. That is negative 25. And now final step is to divide by negative 5. And that gives us an answer of 5. Now, just like we talked about with one-step equations, you can check your work by taking your answer and plugging it in for the variable, and then going through the problem. And you can do this mentally, probably, for most of these. So 5 times negative 5 is negative 25, plus 7 does give us negative 18. All right, so that's a good way to know if you did the work right. Just mentally check your answer. Okay, so for example D, we have a fraction, but don't worry. We learned how to do that with one-step equations. So the first step is the same. Get rid of the 7. It's being subtracted, so we have to add, do the opposite. So now 1/2 x equals 2, positive 2. And remember, to divide by this fraction, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So we get x here equals, and 2 times 2 is 4, divided by 1, still 4. So the answer there is 4. And again, you can check that by plugging this in. 1/2 times 4, well, half of 4 is 2, and then 2 minus 7 is negative 5. So we did that correctly. All right, 3 over 2w plus 7 equals negative 14. Again, here we have a plus 7 that we need to subtract, leaving us with 3 over 2w, those go away, equals negative 21. And for the fraction, again, we multiply it by the reciprocal. Flip the fraction and multiply. So w equals, now we have to figure this out, multiply by 2, divide by 3, and that does give an answer of negative 14. All right. Last one. We have f over 3 minus 6 equals 21. So again, f is being divided by 3 and then subtracted by 6. So we have to first undo the minus 6 by adding 6 to both sides. So f over 3 equals 27. Now here, it's not really a full fraction. It's just f divided by 3. So we can just multiply both sides by 3 for the opposite operation. Now f would equal 27 times 3 is 81. 81. Okay, so that's two-step equations, right? Use the opposite operation in the reverse order.